Alright, I want to talk about something really serious that, not a lot of people are talking about. I had to take my friend back to the hospital after he spent a day at the library. And I know that they use a lot of Wi-Fi there. I wanted to see what the updates were on the internet, so I clicked on some things about 5G. Is it dangerous to human life? Well, I already know it's dangerous to human life because it messed up our trees. And trees is your oxygen supply. Not every single tree is affected, but there is not a season for fungus to grow on your tree. There's not a season for the bark to fall off. And I know there's a lot of places where there's just dead trees, because I've seen it. I drove around 25 states and I recorded 5G damage done to our trees at the beginning of this pandemic. My friend is spitting up blood, and they have no explanation. There's a lot of people that are dying of hernias, blood clots. The radiation is the same as a microwave. Now I want you to think about this. Say you took, and don't do this please, because it would be bad, it would be wrong, and we already know what will happen. But if you took, say, a kitten and stuck it in the microwave, and you turned it on, what's going to happen? That cat's going to explode. It's going to cook that cat from the inside out. And that is what 5G radiation is doing to us. You need to pay attention to all the megahertz and G's and this and that. It's the same. And they don't talk about it in the news, how they're turning it up and, did what they did when they turned it on. Electrical burns can happen because of this 5G and what the power company does. Let me back up a minute. Power company, when they decided that they wanted to switch over to the smart meters, see, they had to get the chip into your home. So the power man don't have to come out no more. Neither does the person for the water. They take the data so they can give you your bill, and they send it back in the form of electricity. This is why they gave you them funky bulbs, because they had chips in them. It can withhold, supposedly, the current coming back. I know everybody in my area, Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana, everybody was griping because, the power bill is going to be cheaper, but it wound up being $40 more. Well, that's why, because when they send it back in the form of electricity. And you can have free roaming electricity in your home. If you wake up and you feel burning, or you feel something like really, really burning you, and it's unexplainable, I would suggest unplugging your light with the chip in it. I already experienced that, and I had to go to the fire department to find out, because I didn't know what was going on. And I took went and got one of them electric meters, and I stuck it on the V with a squiggly line. And, you normally take the prongs and you stick them in the light socket. Well, my problem was every time I laid in bed, my head was on fire. And then when I would leave, it would take a couple hours and it would go away. But as soon as I returned to my home, it would start again. So I knew something was going on, so I wanted to figure it out. And I stuck them things where my head goes on my pillow. And I have a video about it. It was like 2.6, 2.8, I think was the highest. 3.0 is a microwave. I know there's something going on with these blue lights and all these lights blinking. When they're blinking, they're sending data. I don't understand all these currents and how they work, but I know that it's hurting people and it's hurting our oxygen supply. I can see it with my own two eyes. It's really convenient that when they decided they wanted to ramp up 5G, COVID hits. So that way, if anybody dies of this, it's got to be COVID. We got to tell everybody it's fucking COVID. People who have heart makers and things to keep their heart going in rhythm and all that, these microwaves affects that. My friend is weak. He just went through a lot this year since they started this 5G crap. And with him spitting up blood, I don't see him getting better. So I have to watch my friend slowly just deteriorate, I guess, because he ain't getting better in a year. And that is really sad because since 2011, these big tech companies knew what this could do to people. 2014, they knew what this was going to do to people when they did the thing in Italy. So, all these rich freaks with these companies and all these people collecting money to have these towers on their property, you all should be held accountable as the person making a logical decision to hurt many people. And I'm saying this because I've seen it. I've seen what it does to people. I feel what, right when I went on this trip, I know how I felt. I know how I felt when I was away from it. I know how I feel when I'm right up in it. I know how I feel when I go to Walmart. And there's a lot of people talking about it. I'm not the only one. I'm just one of the few that will get on here and talk about it like this. I wish more people would talk about it. I wish more people would stand up and hold the people that own the power companies and our government accountable. Because if it continues, it's genocide on people. It is the same as a microwave. And the other disturbing thing about it is, I know when the beginning of this pandemic started, I was going to Jackson, and I stopped at the schools because I was trying to figure out why are they raising heck about the schools. University of Mississippi, I think it is, in Hattiesburg. I might be wrong. If you get up and walk around that school, and you have them things about this wide and about that tall, you know, the little, each individual tower, there's over 100 of them on and around a school campus. And people are paying money to send their children there to be microwaved every day with not a thought about what they're even doing. I'm not saying this to make you depressed or point fingers. I'm saying this because I want you to do your own damn research before more people get hurt. Because the longer 5G goes up and up and stays on, and these people try to make it higher than 5G, the more people's gonna hurt. And I know what I felt like when I did that meter thing on my pillow. And then I went to the fire department and asked him what the hell that meant. He told me it's free roaming electricity. As soon as I unplugged that light, it went away. If you get electric meter, you don't even have to put it in the holes. You can put it on the V with the squeaky line, hold the two things up, and just walk next to your walls. You'll start seeing numbers come up. They'll be low, but they'll be there. These people made logical decisions knowing they've been notified since 2011, and they've never done nothing about the harmful effects they already knew that it caused on people. They did absolutely nothing. I screenshotted the article I read, and I will try to post it up online when I'm not blocked. I suggest, before it's removed, start looking. Because it was really, really hard for me to find 5G damage done to your body. I think I put 5G radiation, is it harmful? And then it pulled up a little bit, not a lot. But for it to be so hard to pull up, period, and knowing that they knew about this since 2011, I see a problem with that too. I really do. I know when I took the 25 state challenge, after I got through the 12 state, it was really affecting me that what I was seeing and up north was worse than where I'm from down south. My cousin, right across the street from her house, I'm going to tell you, if I knew that that thing was across the street, I would have never stayed in her house. She had a 5G tower right across the street from her house. There's a tree that was in the yard that, shaded her yard, and it blocked her front door from the street. Her and her, I think it's her daughter, or it might be her stepdaughter, they're complaining of pancreatic problems up north. She's a nurse. Of course, the hospital's not telling her the damn truth. And the tree's gone. Like, it fell over. She said the thing's been up there for about a year and a half or so, and the tree fell over. And I tried to tell her, and she didn't want to listen. Whatever killed your tree from that thing over there, every time you walked in your door, you walked in front of it too. She didn't want to hear that, but it's the truth. People are going to get sick, and they're going to get cancer really quick. I don't know how this vaccine plays into this, but I know people are, being entertained with stupidity while they do what they want to do. And if everybody thinks that Trump is just perfect, you need to understand, when he signed the executive order blocking all property of people involved in serious human rights and civil rights abuse, he took possession of every single resource in the United States. So anything that's going up in price, you might want to go read that order and understand it. And you need to understand who he pardoned, what people from what countries, and what they've done in the past. You want to know if it's evil and if it's already been planned? If there's an Illuminati card already out about it, you already know they planned it. Just like they planned the trucker thing, they're trying to keep you entertained. When I went out and did the filming of the 25 states, I stopped at a lot of rest areas, and I stopped at a lot of truck stops. I even did a video with the trucker that how he felt uncomfortable every time he had to go to the truck stop because their parking lot has a couple of them always in them or at the rest area. And I did a lot of videos from there. I was banned from the internet. When I got home, I was doing Facebook Lives on my old account. When I got home, that's when they took down my internet, so I couldn't talk about what I found and what I saw. And, you can't go to that many places and have that many coincidences. Something's wrong. It's seriously wrong. And I wish people would take responsibility. And if you really love your family, understand what's really going on and how harmful it is. Like, my friend was fine. I took him to the library. I don't have Wi-Fi or TV or cable or none of that running to my house. I dropped him off at 10 o'clock. When I picked him at 2, he was spitting up blood. He was shaking uncontrollably, and he's not sick. This messes with your DNA, it messes with your blood, and it's really serious on the elderly and people who with weak immune systems.